So take it away, Jay. Tell us a little
Thanks.
bit about your fun.
Thanks, Patty. I was fortunate enough to meet Tom way back in 1982. So we had a long history together. And in the midst of that, when I was a professional bodyboarder in the 90s, specifically the late 90s, Morey, the company, decided to do this RV tour up and down the East Coast. And we called it the Progression Session. And Tom was a part of that. So basically, we rented an RV up in New York and we drove it all the way to Florida. We stopped at shops along the way. We signed autographs. We sang the boogie song at a lot of the shops. I used to beatbox on my chest and my knees while Tom sang and played the ukulele. And we were in Florida finishing up the tour, and we had the RV. We had to get it to Orlando to catch our flight back to California. And we were crunched for time. We had been at a promo in Miami a little too long because Tom likes to talk story, as we all know. So we sort of ran out of time, and we had to bullet up the Florida Turnpike to get to the airport. But when you return an RV, you have to drain all the tanks. And one of those is the black water tank. And that's everything you flush down the toilet and rinse down the sink, and all the shower leftovers go in the black water tank. So it's a nasty job to unload that. You usually pull up to a dump station, hook a hose up, and you empty it out the way you're supposed to do it, right? So we're racing up the turnpike, and this deluge of a rainstorm starts hitting, and we had to slow way down because we're in this giant RV. We don't want to hydroplane. And we're looking at the watch, and we're saying, we're not going to make it back in time to dump this tank at a proper dump station and then still have time to return it and get to the airport. So Tom has this bright idea. He's old school, man. He says, we're just going to have to dump it right here. And we all looked at each other and said, what? Right here? We're in the middle of the Florida Turnpike. So he pulls over into the median, and there's a large, like 40-yard long grass ditch separating each side of that turnpike. He gets out in the middle of a deluge, soaking wet, rain's hitting him, and he's just in a pair of trunks. And he undoes the lid on the black water tank, and everything in the black water tank, and you can imagine what was in there, just comes pouring out into this ditch in the middle of the Florida Turnpike. We are looking out the window, cracking up. We can't believe it. Of course, it is not right to do that, kids. So don't do that at home. But it's the mid-90s, man. The statute of limitations is expired now. And we're sorry, Florida, but we made it to the airport. We returned the RV. We got on the plane, and we had memories of Tom's act stick with us to this day. So Tom went old school. We made it to the airport on time. That's just one of so many stories about Tom, but Tom was an amazing character. He always had stories, and now we have a story together with Tom to think about. It's so
I'm holding myself back from laughing back here.
Oh my gosh.
That is so quintessential, Tom.
Yeah, it was absolutely classic.
Oh, so glad. Thank you so much for sharing that and enlightening our day.
Yeah.
All the people that are, love stuff like that. Thank you so much, Jay. Like I said, I was really holding back. I didn't want to hear over.
Tom, we miss you, baby.
Yeah, we do. Oh.